Hey, how's everybody doing today, man? I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about, obviously, we got the biggest arm wrestling match in the history of the world coming in 3 days, man. But what I wanted to talk about was it right for Ryan Bowen, or anyone for that matter, to interview the referee prior to an arm wrestling match? And I'm gonna come a little bit of a unique angle here, and I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. Like before, well, first of all, let me get thing. So, I know this is strange analogy, but if somebody's going on trial, or there's a court case going on and there's going to be a judge or a mediator, it's against the law, or it is if you do certain things, but also if you say certain things like in the media or on TV about a court case, you can be you can go to jail. But also, they don't allow the defendant or the people who witness, or even the defendant or the plaintiff or whatever on either side, to get in front of the TV. Like the Kyle Rittenhouse case, he wasn't allowed to get on TV and talk a bunch about what happened and who was there and his account and all that. And I guess anything he did say, they could have used in court as evidence and blah, blah, blah. So, it's just because it causes a mistrial and just makes it unfair when the information and everything, whether it be false or true, whenever it just kind of goes out ahead of, before there's a chance to make a verdict made. And so what I wanted to know is if you guys think that it's morally wrong to bring Bill Collins on there and say, well, hey, Bill, what are the rules? I understand just, talking about what exactly the rules of the match are. That's not a big deal. But what I'm saying is it wrong for Bill to say things like Devon Larratt? Every time I've reffed Devon Larratt, he's always, pushing it to the very extreme and trying to see what he's, seeing what he can get away with. And basically they're more or less, I feel like people are laying open Devon's, they're kind of getting in Devon's business and kind of, opening up exactly what his game plan is, and kind of just like laying it open and dissecting it. And basically, in a way, I feel like they're kind of, showing his cards, instead of just letting the hype build and the fear build and the pressure build, and then understanding the rules and then just letting them go at it. People are going so in depth of analysis and saying, oh, Devon's gonna tire out Levon's hand in the setup, and Ryan or whoever, or Ryan asking him things like, hey Bill, do you think the match starts at go, or do you think the match starts before that? He's basically like finding out exactly what he can get away with, or he's basically finding, well, where are you going to draw the line, and how much is Devon going to be able to do, and are you going to let Devon crank into Levon's fingers? Are you going to force Levon to put his elbow down and just let him rake into his fingers and blow his hand up? Or do you even think that's legitimate arm wrestling? Like, I don't know. I think, like, there's nothing wrong with the analysis, and there's nothing wrong with talking about things, but I think certain things is just like a little bit of a line that's crossed, as far as, like, if I was having a match with one of my, whoever it was, but let's, for the sake of a conversation, say it was a teammate, and that another teammate was going to be reffing. Would it be right for me to call up my teammate, or for somebody else to even, video it or make it public knowledge of, what exactly are you going to let Derek get away with? If his elbow comes up half an inch whenever he hits sideways on go, are you gonna be okay with that, or are you really just gonna call every single inch of daylight? It's kind of like, I feel like some things ought to be left up to, you know, the chance of the moment, instead of trying to kind of ruin the experience for, I don't know if I'm exactly wording this right, but it's almost like going to sit down and watch a movie and then somebody tells you all the, you know, that tells you all the badass parts of the movie before, or exactly the storyline of the movie, and you're just missing the minute details, you know what I mean? I don't know, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It wasn't necessarily wrong, but I just kind of thought, well, man, if you want views that bad that you need to, you know, interview the head referee and get him talking about, you know, every single thing he's ever seen Devon do, you know, at the table from a rule pushing standpoint. I mean, why don't you just write Levon a handbook of exactly what he needs to do to stop Devon from exploiting the rules, or vice versa? I just think that there's certain lines you don't cross and certain things you don't say, you know. Like if I wanted to rob a bank, I wouldn't call the bank and say, well, hey, what is your policy if I come in there and pull a gun? And then, you know, I'm not going to call the police station after that and say, oh, well, hey, you know, is it illegal for me to carry an unloaded weapon in a bank? Or does it have to be loaded? I mean, you know, because they're going to be sitting here saying, why do you want to know that information to begin with? So, anyways, I got to go. Just some food for thought. You guys think Ryan Bowen went too far? Or do you think interviewing the head referee to an arm wrestling match and finding exactly where he draws the line on the rules and exactly what he's going to let people get away with, whether or not that's wrong? Y'all have a good day. Stay strong.